Snipers, you have to see what's happening in the Bitcoin price this Friday as we head into the weekend where the markets are the most manipulated. A lot is happening to Bitcoin and the revolving parts. Let's dive straight into the charts. And the first thing I want you guys to check out here is the fact that the merge played out as the biggest one-day decline for the Ethereum to Bitcoin pairing since May of 2021. People are obviously not too enthused about this Ethereum merge, with Ethereum breaking the neckline of this head and shoulder pattern. What's happening to Ethereum and Bitcoin with a potential price target of $1,000 for Ethereum if we were to see the full fulfillment of this head and shoulder pattern? And with Bitcoin testing the most important support as we record this video, a lot is happening. And then not only that, look at what's happening to the Bitcoin chart. In the smaller time frames, the immediate short term, we are testing the most important resistance here, the previous weekly open at $20,000. And now we're stuck inside of this price range here between the 2018 previous all-time high and the previous weekly open, which means we could get a very early confirmation of the next move. And at this point, if we get any hourly and 4-hour candles above $20,000, guess what, snipers? That opens up the door to the potential upside of Bitcoin heading back towards $22,000. But if we're not able to get above $20,000 and we get back below 19,798, the 2018 previous all-time high, of course, what we're going to have to monitor is the candle symmetry, because remember, we always wait for 4-hour and hourly candle confirmations fully below a major support or resistance. And then when you do get those confirmations, you have to be privy to the type of candle symmetry that you're seeing here. And notice the only 4-hour candle fully below the major support was actually a pretty bullish candle with a nice wick here, indicating that Bitcoin wasn't ready to fall further down. So we've yet to really get a full confirmation of a potential move here for Bitcoin. But with such a gruesome week to the equity markets and heading into the weekend where the markets are the most manipulated, we have to keep both scenarios on the table, snipers. And so remember this, at this point, if we break below 19,798, 17,204 comes on the table. If we break above 20,000, we could be seeing some volatility to the upside to potentially test $22,000, where we have confluence here with some major resistance levels. And then with Ethereum right now, just notice how very similar to Bitcoin, we were sitting here between the previous weekly open and 2018 previous all-time high, but we're actually seeing a lot of weakness here. And if Ethereum continues to test 1440 and prices below it, just like we are right now as I record this video, then the door opens up to 1165 and 1277. That is the immediate short-term downside target, and then potentially even $909, because we know the Ethereum to Bitcoin chart on the 3-day chart had a bearish MACD crossover, and with the Ethereum to Bitcoin chart being quite overbought at this point, failing to break into new yearly highs, there is a potential of a lot more downside here for Ethereum against Bitcoin with the news behind us of the merge. And so we have to continue to monitor the Ethereum to Bitcoin chart, especially because Bitcoin dominance could be in a potential reversal here with this inflection point for Bitcoin dominance. If we start to see Bitcoin dominance rise, that could be an indication that the Ethereum to Bitcoin chart is also going to sell off. The Ethereum to Bitcoin chart leads the other altcoins. And so now that the merge is out of the way, I've been saying this, snipers, people love to buy the hype and then sell the news, because after the news, what else is there to look forward to? And if that's the case, and we start to see Ethereum move into Bitcoin, and that could be for many reasons. Maybe people are just not too enthused of the fact that Ethereum is moving to proof of stake, and they want a proof of work type of cryptocurrency like Bitcoin that's tried and true over a decade now. They'll move their Ethereum into Bitcoin. That could really hurt the overall cryptocurrency market, potentially even other altcoins. And that could even hurt Bitcoin, because Bitcoin dominance can move up with the overall market selling off and Bitcoin just not selling off as much, or with the overall market moving up. And so that's why that's so important to monitor right now, the Ethereum to Bitcoin chart and Bitcoin dominance. And so what we'll continue to monitor here for the Ethereum to Bitcoin chart is going to be the major resistance, 79,000 Satoshis, and the major support, 65,000 Satoshis. But we are playing a dangerous game here with the news behind us. And so how did the equity markets close? Well, for the most part, I'll say this. The S&P 500, you can see here, came down, broke some major structural support, and now is testing a very important key level here, which is the midpoint of this channel. And so coming into next week and coming into the weekend, there is a bearish bias. It wasn't a good week for the equity markets. I think the S&P 500, the NASDAQ, both down over 4% this week. The VIX also spiking up this week. All of those are not a good way to come into the weekend. And so, especially with gold selling off as well, that's showing a lot of fear in the markets. And so it's more important than ever right now to monitor the major support here at 19,798 for Bitcoin. Getting below that for long enough could really open up the door to some volatility. And then 20,000 US dollars, the previous weekly open, is going to be a very important level, snipers. I'll keep you guys updated into this weekend on the price action. Smash the like button for the YouTube algorithm if you support these updates. And with that being said, I believe that is all that we need to cover today. Let's look at some charts really quick before we wrap up this video. Euro to USD back at $1. Interesting to see that. Let's see if Bitcoin against SPY is giving us anything into this weekend. Nothing significant. Let's see Bitcoin against the money supply. Nothing significant there. Let's pull up Ethereum against money supply. Nothing significant. And so new weekly candle as well coming up here for the equity markets. So we have a weekly candle here to look at. Nothing significant. You can see though that we're seeing a little bit more volatility. This weekly candle closed below the 20-week moving average. So that's something of note here. The DXY weekly candle here sitting right at that previous weekly open, just closing right above that major level. So now it's a support level. So yeah, we're pretty much seeing a bearish close into this weekend. And so I would definitely say that there's a more bearish bias for the cryptocurrency market this weekend. Enough to see new lows below 17,200? Definitely not. I think that during the weekend, because all cards are on the table, maybe right now the worst case scenario that we could expect is potentially 17,000 getting tested at least once more to double bottom Bitcoin. I think that would be the max amount of downside, and it would potentially be a wick. But I don't see Bitcoin falling below 17,204 this weekend. I don't think there's justification for that type of volatility. But there certainly could be a lot of downside volatility this weekend that could be temporary coming into the week open as we start to see equity markets open up. But we're definitely testing the bottom of this range that Bitcoin is in. So the best way to look at this for Bitcoin is currently there's a very small range that Bitcoin is in, and anytime we're below 19,798, we're playing the bottom of the range. And so when we're at the bottom of the range, I guess that would be the time to be going long, and the top of the range is right around that $24,000 level. So when we're at the top of the range, you short. When we're at the bottom of the range, you go long until otherwise proven into a different direction. If we transition into another area, then obviously that would be the one odd exception, but I don't see that transition happening this weekend. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below, Sniper. Smash the like button for the YouTube algorithm if you support this content. And with that, I'll see you guys next time. Snipers out.